Hey guys, welcome back. First off, I want to start out by answering a couple popular questions that came from the last Korean corn dog video that I made. And then I'm going to roll straight into making some more Korean corn dogs. And I'm going to go through the making of the corn dog step by step. And we're going to touch on some areas that need a little bit more explanation. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, first question. I need to use almost twice the amount of flour because it was so soupy. It never thickened while mixing.
Oh. So you have to use twice the amount of flour. I'm going to put the amount of protein that my flour has it right on the screen here. And so just when you're picking a flour, make sure you pick a flour that has the same protein content. A flour with less protein is going to require less water, and a flour with a higher protein content is going to require more water. So that's probably going to be a solution to that issue right there.
What's the difference between active dry yeast and instant dry yeast?
Active dry yeast is also named traditional yeast, traditional dry yeast. And the difference between the two right off the get is that traditional yeast is just going to take longer to activate than instant yeast. Instant yeast has probably a little bit more sugars or something else in it that makes it ferment right away. And so if you're looking for bread doughs or batters that you want to have fermentation be real quick, then an instant yeast is your better bet.
When I made the batter, it wasn't sticking to my sausage and cheese. What did I do wrong?
So what I do, and this is common, is just use a little bit of extra flour and dust the sausage or the cheese down. So you're gonna make it a little bit more sticky or tacky, and then you'll be able to twist the stringy dough onto it a little bit better. So that's a little bit of a hack.
I don't know why when I do the cheese part, it always breaks and falls out. I've tried many times with different cheeses, but it keeps failing. Maybe my country doesn't have a good cheese brand.
So if you're unable to get a similar cheese to what we're gonna use today, then a hack for that is throw the cheese in the freezer. Skewer your cheese, throw it in the freezer and freeze it, and then dust it with a little flour, twist it in your batter and throw it in the fryer. And then by the time the batter is golden brown, that cheese is gonna be melted inside and it's not gonna melt in the frying oil. So give that a shot.
How many corn dogs does the batter make?
5 to 6 to 7 corn dogs, I think be healthy.
Is your measurement really the exact standard? I noticed you use a bowl for 1 cup of flour.
So the biggest problem I think everyone's having is the type of flour that they're using. So just make sure that you have the same protein content in your flour that I'm using in my flour, and then it's an equal 1-to-1 by volume. So put it right on the screen right here. That's how much protein content my flour has. So just go to the store or look in your pantry and find something similar to that. You should be good. All right guys, so now let's get into making the batter. Well, first of all, we're going to ferment the yeast, start the process. So we got our water right here. I'm using bowls. So I got a thermometer, so I'm going to show you the temperature of it. So we're sitting around 80 degrees, 78, 79, 80. So 80 degrees in the water. So put your water in, and then we're using traditional active dry yeast is what we're going to use. So put in 1 pack of traditional active dry yeast. And then we're gonna throw in 1 teaspoon of just regular white sugar. Give that a good mix. Just like that. The warm water is gonna melt the sugar, and it's the perfect temperature to activate the yeast. So I know my house is a little cool. So what I have right off to the left here is a bain-marie, and it's warm. So it's gonna keep this yeast at the temperature that we want, which is around 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 degrees Celsius. So we're gonna cover it, and we're gonna let it sit just like it is for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your environment. And so when the yeast blooms and it's ready to move on to add the flour, we'll show you guys that perfect temperature. All right guys, so it's been 10 minutes that we've let this yeast bloom in our nice bain-marie warm environment. So take a look at it now. As you can see, all these bubbles on top, the yeast is off-gassing from consuming the sugar. So we're gonna take it out from this bain-marie. And then we got 1 cup of flour. Remember, we're using cups, we're not using exact measurements. So we're gonna put the flour in to the yeast and sugar mixture. Just mix it around. And I know last time in the previous video, I said mix for about 5 to 10 minutes to build the gluten up. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna give this a nice a nice mix so everything's incorporated. And then we're gonna take it and put it back onto our bain-marie. And I'm gonna grab Saran wrap, cover it, and we're just gonna let it sit here for 30 to 40 minutes. And after that time elapses, we'll see you guys right back here and we'll get ready to do some frying. All right guys, welcome back. It has been 40 minutes that we've let our dough ferment, or our batter. And so we'll take off the Saran wrap. Here we are. And so it is basically quadrupled in size. So what we have laid out in front for coatings for our corn dogs, we have some shredded hash browns, pre-cooked, frozen. We just have some Japanese style breadcrumbs called panko. And then I've got some crushed up spicy Cheetos. And the sausages and mozzarella that I have here, I'll put the brands on the screen. Yeah, so let's just go ahead. And so you can see that they've started to sweat a little bit. So we're just gonna take some flour, just a light amount of flour. You're not gonna taste this at all. And so just dust your hot dog or your sausage. Now, we'll scrap from the skewer and we just dip into the batter and we twist. I like to go like a third of the dog first, just like so, and then just twist. She's a good thick batter, just like that. It's hard maybe to get a little bit on the end. It's a little bit sticky, but just get your fingers in it. Here we go, guys, big twist like that. You're gonna have fun with it. It's gonna be messy. But once you start putting the coatings on, it's gonna be a little bit better. It'll round out a bit. So let's go with the panko first. Let's give it a nice roll. Just back and forth, get an even coating. And we're not gonna worry as much about the sausages as we will about the cheese to get the batter coated everywhere. So that'll be the first. Now let's move on to the mozzarella. Same thing, do a light dusting of flour. Just like that. Now we're really gonna dunk this one into the batter and try to get a neat, nice coating. It's a little bit tricky. I should have left the skewers a little bit longer, but that one didn't work out very well. It's hard to spin. There we go. So let's do this one, the spicy Cheetos. Spicy Cheeto mozzarella sounds pretty good to me. And we'll just fill any remaining gaps with some panko. Spicy Cheeto and panko. Now I'm just gonna go back ahead and I'm gonna coat the last sausage and the last cheese with the hash browns, maybe a little bit more panko, maybe a little spicy Cheetos, maybe a mix. And then we'll see you guys back over at the fryer. So you just wanna take, probably for this surface area, we're just gonna fry 2 at once. Let's put the first one in. Make sure you get a nice bubble there. Let her float. And then our mozzarella hash brown. There's our bubble, let her float. And now we're just gonna cook these for 3 to 5 minutes till they get nice golden brown. Fry the next 2, and then we're ready to eat. All right guys, so first 2 are ready to go. It was about 3 minutes on this fry. 3 minutes on that fry for that sausage. That's big guy. 3 minutes on the fry for the mozzarella and hash brown. And so this would be a great time if you didn't want to add salt at the beginning. Just sprinkle a little salt right now. You can move them around, get both sides, but that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the next 2 in. All right guys, all done here. They worked amazing. I think we're all looking forward to is the crisp. The batter with the panko just turns out absolutely amazing. So just go ahead and give it a try. Fire. Classic. So good, such nice crunch. Check out the hash browns, the shredded hash browns. You just pull your skewer right out. The cheese pulls, look at that. This aged mozzarella is just perfect for this. Let's give it a try. Absolutely insane. Like, no words. That's so good. I want to take another bite, but we got to move on. Okay. Spicy Cheeto mozzarella. Once again, see, the mozzarella doesn't come out. And it's if you get a nice coating of batter. Fire. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah. Wow. Those spicy Cheetos, they add just a nice little saltiness, a little hint of heat, fire, and then I might as well make it a mess here, but try the sausage. I know it's gonna be a banger anyway. Absolutely delicious. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend it, guys. Fire. All right, that's a wrap.